Alright guys, welcome to the Crazy Flyer 175 channel. Today we're going to be doing some more flying in the Embraer 145, and today we're going to the Bahamas. We're going to go out and have some fun. It's a relatively short flight. We might even make it a turn, meaning that we'll go out and then come back. But yeah, our flight plan today, did I get this set up? I don't think I did. Pull this up for you guys here on the iPad as well. So we are going from, there we go, now it should be up. Miami International, we're going to be going out to, I forget what the name of the airport is called, hang on. We're going to jump into the flight deck here real quick. MYGF, Grand Bahama International? Yeah, Grand Bahama International, it's in Freeport. Relatively short flight. It's only, I think, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes of airtime, so really pretty short. But it's gonna be a lot of fun. So that's what we're doing today. Sorry guys, got a sync issue here on the mic as always. We just fixed that real fast, and we're gonna get the airplane started and we'll get going. All right, there we go, got that fixed. All right, let's go ahead. We'll run flows here. The airplane to life. We do have a GPU available for us today. We'll make use of that. Get the passenger baggage door open so they can begin loading the airplane. Also, I get the sound turned up for X-Plane. I had it turned down. Alright. Airplane is to life. Check the electrical system. We got good voltage on the batteries. Bring the GPU online. GPU's got the load now. Good deal. Alright, and we'll go ahead and we'll begin to set up the flight deck here. Actually, we'll leave those off for a minute. We'll wait until we get the APU fired up. We'll bring those online. Okay, that's all set up. Long panel here. I don't think we have any ATC right now in Miami, unfortunately. We are live on VATSIM. But yeah. Let's see, we were filed today. I'll pull this up for you guys again. We're filed at 15,000 feet, so relatively low altitude, but again, it's a pretty short flight, so get that set up here. Alright, I think everything else is set up. We're going to go ahead and do the FMSs. Again, with this airplane, I just use the FMS that they kind of have for performance calculations, and then we just use the default FMS for navigation, because this one is kind of quirky. Alright, MCU index, we're going to go performance, and so I'll pull this up for you guys as well on the iPad. So we have, there it is right there, 42 passengers on board today for this flight. Keep the door open until we're done boarding. Let's see, and our weight, you know, I didn't configure weight or fuel before. I should have done that. That's alright. So let's see, fuel wise, we need to have 6.8 on board, minute takeoff 6.5. We'll do about 7,000. And then planned takeoff weight's 43,500. Let's bring the payload up to match that. Plus maybe a little extra, yep, for the fuel. Alright, there we go. Alright, that's all correct. So we'll do flaps 9, 130, 130, 140, 7 degrees, nose up trim.
Ladies and gentlemen, the boarding door is now closed. Federal regulations require that all large portable electronic
seems like they load up so fast.
and stowed at this time.
Can't believe they're already done boarding. We'll go ahead and get the APU fired up now that people are on board. That way we have some air conditioning.
All devices be turned off during flight. We'll
Okay.
be moving shortly. Thank you for
AP's
flying
on
the
its
craft.
way. I don't think we're going to really do any cruise performance, honestly, with this FMS. Planned landing weight, though, for landing speeds, 42.6. And there we go. So, we don't have any ATC today. Our filed route is, let's see, it's on the next page. Yeah, there it is, right here. So this is our filed route right here. It's PADIS to departure PADIS and then direct. We do have that procedure pulled up here. So we'll take a look at that. Let's go ahead and get the FMS set up and then we'll brief our departure. Alright, here. Flight plan, sorry guys. Spacing out for a second. Miami to, it's, what is it, MYGF for Grand Bahama International. Yeah, MYGF, sorry. There we go. That is better. Legs, we're going to delete that little leg that the other FMS creates. Okay, and then departure. So we don't have any ATC, meaning we also do not have any ATIS available. So we're just going to get our weather information from METAR for today. So here's current weather, or the latest weather out of Miami. Winds 100 at 610 miles, scattered 3,600 feet. Temperature 31, 2.22 altimeter, 29997. We got 2997 set. So that means they're departing to the east. And so based on where we are on the airport, I'm going to anticipate we're going to depart runway 8 right. So we'll use that for our planning for departure. So departure, be off runway 8 right. Doing the PADIS departure. Put that into the flight plan, and then really after that we just go direct to a destination. So I'm just going to put in MYGF. Sure. I don't know what that waypoint is. Let's see here for the let me. We'll try it again. MYGF. As good as the avionics are in this game, sometimes it gets quirky. Okay, there we go. And then we're just gonna delete. And well, let me delete this continuity. It will not. That works though. Okay. So MYGF. We got the departure in there. All right. So briefing the departure. Top altitude will be 5,000 feet. We'll set that initially. You know, we'll be on navigation basically the whole way. So, you know, we'll set our altitude up, you know, to cruise altitude after we get going. So off 8 right, climb heading 092. So indicated setting for our heading bugs down here. We're going to tune 092. 092 is set to 520, and then a right turn direct to 092 to 520, and then right turn direct to Gozo, which we have here in the FMS. And then on depicted route to PADIS, we have a speed restriction up here, turbojet, accelerate 250. If unable, advise ATC. We should be able to do that. Yeah, that is departure, pretty simple one. So let's see, just looking at the release here, if we have an engine failure off runway 8 right, there it is. So runway info, so off 8 right, looking at this line right here, engine failure procedures, just correct track 092, so pretty much straight out if we have an engine failure. And that is all that I got for the departure brief. Let's go ahead, let's see, we got the APU online. Just don't have the AC on yet. Those people are probably really hot sitting back there. There we go. Turn those on now. Those are all set. Okay. let's run our checklist before start checklist. For start checklist, electrical panel set. Emergency lights, I did not arm those, they're armed now. Fuel panel set, fire detection, actually I never did that either. That's why we do checklists, guys. Okay. Power plant panel is set. Electrical systems 1 and 2 are off. Passenger science panels set. Ice protection panel is set. Air conditioning pneumatic panel set. Display control panel is set. Flight instruments are set. 2997 on the meter, cross-checked. Thrust lever is idle. Trim panel is set. 7 degrees, nose up. Neutral on the others. Pressurization panel is set. Fms set. Fuel quantity. Let's see, for this flight. Scrolling up here, so it was 6.8 planned, and we have 7 on board. Doors and windows closed. Takeoff briefing complete. Fuel pumps are on. Red beacon is on. And emergency park brake set. And checklist is complete. I never did set up my usual sheet here with my... Well, it's normally when I get the clearance in the ATIS is when I write all the information down, but we didn't get that today. I'm just going to jot down some notes. So we're 40, 39, and so 6.8 planned and 6.5 required for takeoff. Okay. That's really all the information I need. We've already got all the other stuff. We don't have a clearance to worry about. I'm just going to verify, make sure we don't have any nearby ATC. We do not. So, yeah, we'll be kind of on our own. Our discretion for the flight, departure, all that good stuff. We'll get on to the CTAF frequency. Actually, let's do that right now. And I might just take a look over at BatSpy, just make sure, see if I get any traffic nearby that I might be dealing with on departure. So I'm just going to look at that real quick. Here at Miami. Let's see, I do not see any immediate traffic. It looks like there's American Airlines 40 or 616 is out on the arrival, so he might be landing here pretty shortly. Other than that, I don't see anything. I see one other GA airplane nearby, but not really any other traffic to contend with. I guess there's somebody taxiing over there, maybe. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get pushed back, and let's get going. So let's see, I'm trying to remember, they have some interesting pushback procedures here. I think they're going to bring us back to like here, and then they're going to kind of turn us nose that way. I can't remember exactly how they like to do it out of these gates.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright, and we are ready for pushback.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Ground op, sorry, everything is disconnected, all the doors are closed. Go.
Airborne runway 37, Miami traffic around 23.
Somebody making a radio call there. We'll make a call when we begin our taxi. Ah, what happened to the name? Disappeared. I wish there were a way to like save the position. Because every time I reopen the tablet here, I have to reset the position. Delta's taking off,
Okay,
I guess.
all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Language to Takeoff, from Orlando for signals, reminders to see eons to enter.
I couldn't really understand that radio call very well.
Winching strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback.
Brakes off, steer off, cleared push. He's getting the tug attached. So it kind of pulls the nose wheel up on a little, I don't know, the little tray there, I guess, for lack of a better word. And they have a strap that wraps around the nose wheel that holds it in position. There's a few different various tugs that are used for the airline world. But these are pretty common. Even the airplane that I fly, it's a little bit bigger. We commonly will be pushed by these kind of tugs. Alright, he's pushed us back. He said that we were clear to start engines, we got the door closed. Let's go ahead and start engine 1. Packs come off. Hold it for about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
The main cabin door through which you enter, an exit on the right side located at row 2.
Alright, we got N2 rise, ignition.
Take a moment to locate the exit nearest you, keeping in mind that the closest usable exit may be located behind you.
Here's the light off. N2 rise, N1 rise, and oil pressure rising. Looking for a hot start or a hung start. Hot start would be indicated by the ITT spiking up. Hung start would be indicated if either the N2 or the N1 stopped and wasn't rising anymore. About 60% is normal on that N2 there. About 20% on N1. That looks like they're about done with the push.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set. You guys are cleared to disconnect. Have a great day.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Alright, we got to get start on 1. It's going to be a pretty short taxi. Let's go ahead and start 2.
Insert the metal clip into the bucket. To tighten, pull on the loose end of the strap. To release, lift up on the base plate of the bucket.
Alright, N2 starting to rise. Alright, we're getting the disconnect signal out the window. Alright, we got light off, N2 rise, N1 rise, and oil pressure is rising.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Have a good day, guys. Alright, we got a good start on 2. Engine bleeds are online. Packs can come back on. We'll give it just a minute for the APU cooldown. And let's run our checklist. After start checklist, ground equipment's removed, electrical panels set, APU is cooled down now, not required, we'll shut it off. Electrical hydraulic pumps are on auto. Windshield heating is on, air conditioning, pneumatic panels set, flaps set 9. Flight controls checked. I didn't really do my flow, I guess. Normally I do the flow before the checklist. Alright, flight controls checked and taxi light on as required. Alright guys, we are ready to taxi. So what we're going to do, we're going to taxi, be a right hand turn, we're going to join Whiskey. And we'll take Whiskey up to taxiway Mike, and then we'll take Mike out here to the end of 8 right, and we'll depart. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and bring the track IR on so I can look around. Slide forward a little bit so we don't get clipping issues. Clear right, clear left, brake released, and taxi light comes on. Miami traffic envoy 4039 is going to be taxiing from the gate to runway 8 right via Whiskey and Mike, Miami.
Miami traffic, American 9830 Heavy, taxi runway 8 right via November.
Alright, American's coming out behind us. Let's go ahead and run our before takeoff flows. Let's see, we're going to squawk VFR. Alright, let's see, we got a turn coming up. We got to be careful here, because if we accidentally continued on Mike, you can see there where those yellow lights are, that's a runway. Don't want to accidentally enter a runway, that could be dangerous. But here's our taxiway, we're going to be left on Mike.
Takeoff, okay.
Alright, we got that checked. And let's run our before takeoff checklist. For takeoff, min fuel quantity 6.5 is required, and we have 6.9 on board. Takeoff briefing is complete. Ice protection is not required. Brake temperatures are in the green. ICAS checked, no messages. Transponder TARA, takeoff config was checked. Gust lock is unlocked, and elevator is free. For takeoff checklist is complete. You guys ready to go to the Bahamas? I'm ready. This should be a fun little flight for us. Alright, and just reviewing the departure, it's going to be runway heading up to about 500 feet, then FMS nav. We're going out to Gozo for our first fix, and if we have an engine failure, we'll go straight out, troubleshoot, and come back here to Miami. Alright, checklist complete. We'll go ahead and alert the flight attendants. Alright, I don't see any traffic on final. And let's see, I'm going to have this up here for my radio call here. Miami traffic. Envoy 4039 is going to be taking off runway 8 right, climbing via the Pattis to departure, Miami. Alright, landing light strobes are on, everything else is set. We're ready to go, guys. Somebody on a 15-mile final for Niner. So that's good. He's coming into the parallel runway, so even if we were too slow getting off the ground, he wouldn't be a factor for us. Alright, we're entering the runway, keeping the head on a swivel. We're going to come out here, runway 8 right. I see it painted on the runway. We got the correct runway. Alright guys, here we go. Let's spool up the engines about 40%, and then applying takeoff power. Toga set. Knots, cross-checked.
Rotate. V2.
Positive rate, gear up. .500 FMS nav. And I didn't mean to, but I accidentally clicked the autopilot on, but we'll go for it. And 1000, we're going to go flight level change.
Miami traffic, American is 9830 heavy, departing 8 right, follows one departure.
Miami traffic, Envoy 4039, about 3 miles east of the field. We'll be climbing via the Pattis 2 departure, which will be an eastbound departure, Miami. Alright, and after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up, flaps are up, Thrust rating set to climb. Windshield heat is as required. Air conditioning pneumatic panel is set. Pressurization. We got cabin rising, differential also rising. That's good. It's hitting the edge of the high speed warning. Real airplane, it doesn't draw that red bar. It just has it because there's a 250 knot speed limit below 10. So, anyways, and the APU is off. That's after takeoff checklist complete. Alright, so as you guys can see here on the map, so we're on this departure, so we just passed Gozo. We'll be going out to Vapor, and then on this route, which ultimately takes us out to the Pattis intersection. And then from there, we just go direct to the airport. So it's a pretty simple, easy flight plan for us today. Alright, there's 5,000. Power back here for a minute. Now we're filed at 15,000 feet. I'm just going to hang out here for a minute just in case there's any arrivals that go over top of this. That's kind of the reason for the altitude restrictions generally. But I'm just going to take a quick look at that spy, see if there's any conflicting traffic. And I do not see any conflicting traffic for us, so we're going to go ahead and we'll continue our climb up to 15,000 feet. 15,000 is set, and flight level change. There you go. So after it hits the target airspeed, you can see it begins to climb. So it's just going to pitch the nose up or down to maintain our speed while we're in the climb. Let's go ahead and get a little outside flyby view for you. Watch your ears. I always think that's a pretty cool camera shot in X-Plane when you get that flyby. It's pretty legit. Alright, now that we're up and away from the airport, I'm going to go ahead and turn my track IR off. And I don't have to like hold my head still for the entire flight. Overall, a pretty nice day, just a few clouds hanging around. I don't think I really saw any significant weather out. I just looked at the radar earlier today. But it is Florida, so you know, thunderstorms can always pop up pretty quick. Yeah, weather looks pretty good on our route of flight. Up north, kind of out over the, or off the coast of Florida, there's a few little isolated cells. But overall, though, I'd say we're not looking too bad from going from like Miami over here to, this is where we're going out here, Freeport. So, we're in good shape for the weather. Alright guys, we're through 10,000 feet. Bring the taxi landing lights off. Alright, so let's take a look at our charts for our destination here. We're in Bahama International. Here's the airport diagram. Pretty small airport, as you can see. It doesn't even have a taxiway for the entire length of the runway. There's a little bit of back taxiing involved. Terminal's up over here. I'm guessing the winds are probably going to be out of the east, but maybe not. Actually, let's take a look here. We'll refresh this. Alright, so we've got winds 140 at 10, so yeah, they're out of the east. Variable from 110 to 170. We got greater than 10,000 meters visibility. Few at 2,500. Towering cumulus. Towering cumulus, excuse me. So that indicates there actually may be some thunderstorms developing later. Hopefully we'll be in and out of there before that's an issue. And the altimeter 298. We'll go ahead and set that now since this is really a pretty short flight. Approach wise, so we're gonna be landing runway 6. There's 14 for 15,000. So landing runway 6. Oops, sorry guys. Let's see. I don't know if we have any approaches, I'm guessing. Oh, we actually do. We've got an ILS approach, in fact. We'll go ahead and fly that. Actually, you know what? I don't like flying the ILS in this airplane because it always yells at you about the glide slope. They have an RNAV approach, just out of curiosity. They sure do. Conditions were pretty good anyways, it's completely clear below 3,000 feet, so this is just going to be a visual and we'll back it up with this RNAV approach. The airport actually does have a tower. I'm surprised at that. I've only been to a couple airports in the Bahamas real life, and neither of them were towered airports. They were both, uncontrolled fields, uncontrolled airports, meaning they didn't have a air traffic control tower. Yeah, we'll go ahead and shoot this approach. So we could probably just do like a direct to the Syrinx intersection and fly the approach that way. So we'll go here, arrival. We're going to do the RNAV 6. A little fast. Well, you can tell I don't fly airplanes without auto throttles very often. That's embarrassing. Okay. Oops. So we have to kind of load off one of those. We'll load off the Geneve intersection, I suppose. Let's take a look at the flight plan here. So after Pattis, we still got direct to the airport for now, but then we've got the approach loaded in. We'll go ahead and just delete this first waypoint here, because we're not actually going to go out there. We're just going to go to the Syrinx intersection. And that'll be the RNAV approach, runway 6, with the missed approach out to Gigny. And yeah, that looks good. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and rotate the iPad just so we can see the chart a little better. There we go. I don't know if that's actually better or not. I know that was an option, but alright, let's go ahead and brief our approach here. So it's going to be the RNAV GNSS runway 6 approach into Grand Bahama International. It's an RNAV approach 068's course. Jipka, the final at 1,600 feet. Going down to 390. Now we're going to be LNAV. I don't know if this airplane does LNAV VNAV, so I'm just going to play an LNAV only, and so that'll be, we'll call it 400 feet for NDA. 400 set. Let's see, runway elevation 7 feet, MSA around the runway 6 waypoint is 1,500 feet. In case we do a published missed approach, climb to 2,000, proceed on 068 to Majan, and then a left turn, track 041 to Gigny and hold. When local altimeter is not received, it's not authorized. We got the local altimeter anyways. For uncompensated baro VNAV, not authorized below -15 Celsius or 5 degrees Fahrenheit. We're good there. DME not authorized. No turn before the missed approach point. Timing not authorized for defining missed approach point. Max indicated airspeed 210 knots for all turns. Let's see. And so we require a visibility of 1,600 meters or correction, actually for us will be 2,000 meters. We've got greater than that. We got 10,000 meters on the field. After landing, we'll go ahead and rotate this back. Oop. There we go. So after landing, we're just going to make the first available right-hand turn off. We'll try to make hotel. We should be able to do it. We'll come back, taxiway hotel, and enter the terminal. And that's all I got for the brief, guys. Alright, so at this point we're uncontrolled. What I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and go direct to the first waypoint on our approach. So we'll do that. Direct. And we'll execute. So now, as we look here, you can see, whoops, zoom out. So we're going direct to that first waypoint, and we're pretty much already lined up with the runway, even this far out. It just so happens. So let's see, that first waypoint we need to cross at 2,000 feet. We're going to go ahead and get started down, because we got to actually descend like 10,000 feet in not very many miles. We'll send maintain 3,000 for now, and we're just going to do a speed descent. We'll keep the speed up for now. That'll actually help us descend faster. There you can actually see the island already up there. And yeah, our airport's going to be somewhere in this vicinity. It's a quick flight today. You can see here on the iPad, you know, we're already about 2/3 of the way through the flight. That's how short a flight it is. You know, the Bahamas are really close to Florida. You know, I never realized it until I started flying out there in real life. I was like, oh man, we're like here already. Like I said, I've only ever done it a couple of times anyways. Alright, we're getting down to 11,000 feet. We're gonna bring our, whoops, that's the wrong knob. There we go, speed knob. We're gonna start slowing to 250 knots for 10,000 feet. We'll use some speed brakes to help us slow down. There's 250 knots, and now it'll descend. So there you can see it's indicating where our airplane is on this approach. Oops, I got that chart upside down, don't I? There we go. I was gonna say, looks like we're coming the wrong way. Alright, getting below 10,000, landing taxi lights on. Let the flight attendants know. It sounds like they're already making their announcement anyways.
I'll be collecting any related service items like supplies as part of our show program. We're committed to recycling aluminum, plastic, paper, and I'll be coming along to purchase items. Please make sure all of the personal items are securely stowed, either under the seat in front of you or in the overhead bin. Large personalized electronic devices need to be turned off, unplugged, and stowed. For lightweight devices, please turn plugged, keep the airplane low and secure. As a reminder, please make sure all personal belongings are clearly aisled, and let us know if there's anything you need to do to get you ready for landing.
Alright, so looking back here at the approach, so again we're going to cross Curix at about 2,000 feet, so we're going to go ahead and set 2,000 for now. Pull the speed back just a little bit, otherwise it's going to give us that high speed warning. After we pass Curix, we'll descend and maintain 1,600. Hopefully we'll get a glide path. I don't know if this airplane does it or not. I'm not as familiar as like the 737. But we'll see. If not, then we'll just plan a descent using the chart here for our descent rate down to our MDA of 400 feet. feel like we're still a little bit on the high side, so we're going to use some speed brakes to help us descend quicker. What the speed brakes are in this airplane, you can see here on the wings, there's these couple little panels that come out. They'll kind of come up away from the wing, and they help diminish some lift and create some drag, so it'll help the airplane to slow down or go down faster. Alright, there's 3 for 2. We're going to go ahead and close the speed brakes now so we're not going down too fast. I'm going to put it into vertical speed. Well, actually, it doesn't really matter with this airplane. We're going to keep the throttles back. We're going to begin slowing. And just as a review, so final approach speed, we got a long runway. We're going to land flaps 22, 135 knots for VREF. So with the correction end, that'll be 140 knots. The approach. We'll go ahead and set the speed back to 140. So honestly, we're close enough. We might as well begin slowing. In fact, we're past that Curix intersection, so we're going to send and maintain 1,600. Starting the descent there. And let's go flaps 9. Here's 1,600 feet. We're looking pretty good to get close to the final approach fix. And our final approach fix is the Jipka intersection. You can see here we're just only 2 miles away now. Bring a little bit of power in just so we don't get too slow too early. We've got our runway inside out there now. Alright, 1 mile, so our MDA again is 400 feet. So we're going to set 400 feet there. Does not look like we're going to get any vertical guidance for this approach. Oh no, it is. Okay. Yeah, it's giving us some vertical guidance and starting us down. We got 400 feet set. We're bringing gear down. And flaps 22. And let's do our landing checklist. Landing gear down, flaps set 22, lights are on, autopilot yaw damper will be coming off, and landing checklist is complete. Looks like we got a nice wide runway. Honestly, I didn't realize how big the, I've never been to this airport before. I didn't realize how big the runway was, but it's a big runway. I guess, well, the runway is kind of narrow, but it's got like a big area of pavement around it. The usable surface is actually, I guess, normal.
1,000.
Alright, 1,000 feet, we got the airplane configured. Alright, autopilot's coming off.
Autopilot. Autopilot.
$500.
500 stabilized approach. A little low, correcting. Stable.
100. 50. 10.
Oh, we're floating a bit. Come on, get on down there. Don't want to go around. There it is. Not the smoothest, but it'll do. do mid reverse. Actually stopped a bit quicker than I was wanting to. Or than I was planning on. I guess I want to stop quickly, but yeah. Alright guys, we made it to Grand Bahama International. Turn my track IR back on for taxi. And we'll take the first taxiway right here. Yeah, that was this airplane lands a little bit shorter than I think it does. That was pretty good landing performance. Alright, flaps up. Landing strobes off. Transponder. Actually, we'll just leave it on to you. Alright, till we get to the gate. Hey, yo boy and Red TV. I think that's how you say the name. How you doing? What is that? G1 on landing? Let's see, let's run our after landing checklist here before I forget here real quick. After landing, transponders as required, flaps are up, APU. We'll go ahead and start that now, actually. Alright, so we're on hotel. Hotel pretty much goes all the way to the ramp. It'll just be a slight right turn and a left turn kind of into the gate area. See, and we never actually started the APU, we just got the VADAC turned on. There we go, now it should be firing up for us. We'll get a little outside shot while we're taxiing in. I left the inspection lights on. I'll turn those off when we go back inside. Got some low textures here. I don't know what's up with that. Alright, look clear on the left, clear on the right. Let's turn those inspection lights off. That was sharp. That was an abrupt right turn. Everybody in the back's like, what the hell is going on up there? I don't exactly have a diagram of the gate layout here. Guess, well, we'll just kind of come back. Let's follow this line and see where it goes. Oh, okay. I see how it's set up. So basically this is like a gate. It looks like they've got it set up so you can power out. We'll go with it. That works for me. We are not on center line very well, but we'll go with it. At least this airplane's pretty skinny, so even if you're a little off center line, it's usually okay. Alright, we got the APU up and running. Let's confirm it's got the electrical load now. Yep, APU's got electrical. Alright. Turn those bleeds off so APU's got the AC. Alright guys, and we made it to the Bahamas. Thanks for riding along. I think we're going to go ahead and just do a quick turn, and I think we're going to go right on back to Miami. Oh, come on, go back inside for me. There we go. Let me see. I'm going to turn off track IR, the X camera. There we go. We'll have them open the doors for us. We need to get the beacons turned off. Well, it's kind of weird. I thought this was where I was supposed to park, but apparently I'm in the way of all the fuel trucks. I really do not like the airport vehicles in X-Plane. That's my one big complaint about X-Plane in general is the ground vehicles are a bit ridiculous sometimes. Alright, well, we'll have them just put the chocks and cones in place. Let's go ahead and plan ourselves a flight back over to Miami. So I'll pull this up. I'll pull it up for you guys as well. Give me just 1 second. There we go. So we're over in SimBrief, and we're going to go ahead and put together our flight plan. It's a new flight, so we're going to go back the other way. That was MYGF to KMIA. And we're just going to keep the airplane that we're in. It's just a made-up tail number and stuff. And a made-up flight number. We'll keep the same one though. 4039, I think is what we were. That's pretty common if an airplane goes out for a turn, like meaning they like go out and back. Then, generally speaking, they will, you know, keep the same flight number throughout the turn. All right, so Envoy 4039 from Freeport back to Miami. Today, that looks like a good departure time. That's here in about 30 minutes. So we're out of flight. We're going to go direct to, I don't know what that is, Sunbask or something like that in the Annie for arrival. So pretty much straight shot west, and then the arrival comes from the north down toward Miami. That should work nicely. 125 miles sounds about right. We'll go ahead and generate that. Alright, and there it is. Yeah, that's the notification that it'll put the FMS, or put the plan in my FMS folder for me. So that's all we need from there. We can go ahead and close this out now. I just realized that. Hopefully it's like transparent for you guys because I didn't push the slider all the way over. That's alright, you guys get the idea anyways. Alright, so we got that. Let me pull it up on the iPad here, just the release paperwork. iPad's being a little bit slow. There we go. Dispatch, my flight plan, and paperwork PDF. There we go. And then the other thing I'm going to do real quick. So this airplane, I've noticed, like, you know how it has the announcements and stuff. It doesn't really reset them. Oh, my beacons are still on. What the heck? Thought I got those. It doesn't really reset the airplane. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go here. We'll create a new flight plan. Or a new flight here. So MYGF. And this will allow it to reset the airplane basically. So that it will reset like all the cabin effects and the announcements and everything for us. It just adds to the immersion a little bit. Unfortunately though, it also means it's going to start at cold and dark, but that's okay. We can work with that. Let's bring it right back to where it was. Yep, where? Oh, I didn't realize it's on already. Yeah, it's starting. Okay. That works. That'll just bring it right back to where it was, basically. Alright, APU should have electrical now. It does. Okay. Turn the air conditioning back on. Alright. And let's get our flight planned back to Miami. So I don't think, it didn't give us a SID out of here at least, so I don't think there's any departure procedures. There might be though. Departure, oh there are, okay. But we don't have one anyways. It's just a direct to fix, so don't worry about that. Let's go ahead and get this all reinitialized here. That'll reset the FMS and everything. Perf. So on this flight, we have got 46 passengers. And our min fuel, so we need 5.9 on the gate. So we'll make it 6.1 here on the on our fuel here. Only like 100 pounds really. And then planned takeoff weight 43.6, we'll call it 43.7, maybe plus just a little bit for the extra fuel. We'll go with that. Alright, there we go. And so that gives us a 128 for V1, VR, and V2, I suppose. 7.1, we'll do flaps 9 departure. We got plenty of runway to work with on this one. Okay, and we also, before I forget, I need to get the flight plan on file in BATSIM as well. Let me do that just real quick. Swap. Let's see, give us an alternate of KMCO, that's Orlando, I think. KMCO. Yep, that's fine. Keeps giving me that no flight plan found on server. Well, I'm working on it. I don't know why it keeps coming up with that little what's there. Alright, 323 knots. Or no, whoops, that's estimated departure time. We're departing at 2040 Zulu. Time en route is 00 and 41 minutes. Fuel available is going to be 02 hours and 41 minutes. Cruising at 323 knots. And cruising this time at 6,000 feet. Filed via direct to Sierra November, Sierra Bravo Kilo, and the Annie for arrival. 16, I think that's good. So it's reviewing IFR, Freeport, Miami, alternate of Orlando, 2040 departure. 41 minutes en route, 2 hours, 41 minutes. Fuel on board, cruising at 323 knots, 16,000 feet. Equipment Lima, Sunmask, and Annie. That looks good. That's on file. Alright, so we got that done. We're going to set up the box. So MYGF, Miami. Convoy 4039, once again, legs, we're going to delete that. So let's see, arrival into Miami, the Annie 4, via this, I don't know how that one's pronounced. Usually I can guess them pretty well. Probably going to land 1, 2, or maybe 8 left. I'm going to just say we'll throw 8 left in, because why not? I don't know if they normally land 8 left or not. It's really not a lot for runway 8 left, is there? Tell you what, we'll play on runway 1 too. I know they tend to land that a lot when they're landing east. I can have an ILS to 1 too, don't they? Yeah. We'll load in the ILS for this one, because why not? Alright, so just reviewing. I didn't really have to put the approach in there, but we're going to be departing here. Let's get the runway 6 in there. We won't load any procedure for it. So we got that, the ANI arrival to VKZ, and then the ILS runway 12 is all in the box. So this one, we'll just go ahead, we'll just set our altitude for departure all the way up to our cruise at 16. And heading bug, we'll set over here to like a 060. Alright, and that is all set. We'll pull up the 10-9 here. I think we already got all this configured up here. Oh yeah, I guess I need to get the door open, then it'll start doing the announcements and things. Alright. And let's run our checklist. Before start, electric panel checked, emergency lights or arms. Because I totally remembered to do that. Fuel panel set, fire detections tested, power plant panel set, electric pump systems 1 and 2 set. Master science panel is now set. Ice protection panel is good. Air conditioning pneumatic panel, I guess I need to set this up to 16, don't I? Alright, that is set. Display control panel set, flight instruments set, cross-checked. We should still have 2998 in there. Actually, there might be new weather for here, is there? No, it's still pretty much the same. 2996 on the meter. RMU set, thrust levers, idle trim panel set, pressurization panel set, FMS set, fuel quantity. We should have minimum of. Sorry guys, I left the iPad up for you guys that whole time. Let's see, so we need to have 5.9 planned and 6.1 we got on board. Let's see, doors, windows will be closed, takeoff briefings complete. It's just gonna be a runway 6 and FMS, or excuse me, it'll be heading initially, and then we'll just do O navigation out to the beginning of the arrival. 16,000 feet is the altitude. We got that set. And engine failure procedure for runway 6 out of here is direct turn 068, so just straight out. Takeoff briefing complete. Fuel pump power is on. Red beacon will be coming on here shortly, and brake released. So are they already loaded up in the back? I'm guessing they are. Sounding pretty quiet. We'll keep that off for a minute. Yeah, I got everything set here. Let's just flow real quick. Alright, well, I don't know if it's actually working back there or not, the announcements and stuff, but we're just going to go ahead and go. We already got everything set up, so. Get the doors closed up. Alright, door is closed up. We'll go ahead and pull the cockpit door closed, and we're on our way. Red beacon's on. We don't need to push out of here, so we're just gonna start up and we'll power out. Starting engine 1. Oh. Packs need to come off. It's still working. Alright, got a good start on engine 1. We're going to fire up engine 2. Alright, for a good start. I'm just going to check real quick too while the engine's firing up. Looking at VAT Spy to see if there's any ATC nearby or any traffic to contend with. Doesn't look like it, so I think we'll be good. Alright, can start both engines, bleeds to the engines, and backs come back on. We'll go ahead and just turn that off now. Flaps. Trim's already set, and light controls. And after start checklist. After start, ground equipment is removed, electric panel set, APU is off, electrical hydraulic pumps are on, windshield heating is as required, air conditioning pneumatic panel set, flaps set 9, flight controls checked, and landing lights, or excuse me, taxi lights come out, and we are ready for taxi. I never made radio calls when I came in here, I just realized. Oh well. Grand Bahama International Traffic Convoy 4039 is going to be taxiing to runway 6 via Hotel Alpha. And you turn my track IR on. There we go. I can look. I'm like trying to turn my head over there and it's not working. That kind of tends to happen if I don't turn that on. Clear right and clear left. So, Yo Boy and Rhett TV, I think I just got your comment. GL, good luck on landing. Okay. Sorry, that took me like 20 minutes to figure that one out. I'm a little slow
Takeoff.
today.
Okay.
Alright, that's good. You're secure in the back. And we're on our before takeoff checklist. For takeoff. Min fuel quantity, stand by. Min fuel quantity 5.6 is required. We have a 6.0 on board. Takeoff briefing is complete. Eyes protection test not required. Brake temps are green. ICAS checked. Transponder TARA. Takeoff config checked. Gust locks are unlocked. Elevator is checked. Before takeoff checklist is complete. Grand Bahama Traffic Convoy 4039 taking off runway 6 will be a left downwind departure to the west. Grand Bahama. Alright guys, here we go. Back to Miami. Toga set. Knots cross-checked.
One, rotate. V2.
Positive rate, Europe. Heading. And flight level change. Climb power selected. Flaps up. And autopilot is on. We'll make a left turn up. Alright, and after takeoff checklist, landing gear up, flaps up, thrust lighting climb. Windshield heating is on, air conditioning pneumatics set, altimeter set, cross checked, and pressurization is good, APU is off. After takeoff checklist is complete. Alright, so we're going to come over here, we're going to go direct to this waypoint here. And we'll go into nav mode, let the airplane fly direct to that waypoint. So over here we're kind of done with all the plates around Grand Bahamas. We'll go ahead and close all those. We also don't need the departure out of Miami. We'll keep the 10-9. And let's go ahead and grab our approach, which is going to be the ILS 12. And we'll also grab our arrival, which was the Annie 4. Alright, so we got all our plates pulled up here for Miami. As you can see here, we're on this transition going here to this waypoint. Then it's pretty short shot south along the arrival to Virginia Key, and then kind of just do on navigation. Really, we'll probably break off about Hiley or Canes, probably Canes, and we'll break off onto a downwind and set ourselves up for runway 12 into Miami. Should go relatively smoothly, hopefully. Sorry, watch your ears. Get a little external shot here. That's where we took off from, right over here. Alright, above 10,000. Give them the double chime, let them know we're above 10. Excuse me, guys. I got the yawns already. Let's see, ILS 12. We go ahead and get it set up, and then we'll brief it, because this is a really quick flight, just like the last one. So frequency is going to be 108.9er. 08.9. We'll set it up times 2. Final approach course being 124. And I'm going to get this ready to go, and what we'll do, like we did last time, we'll sync heading mode, green needle, put in 124, back to FMS, back to nav. And then it'll save that for when we switch it over to the green needles again for the approach. It'll have our course automatically set. And going down to a DA, whoops, airports, there we go. Our DA on our approach straight in ILS is going to be 368 for the RA, so we'll call it 370. Fortunately, this airplane does not do barometric measured minimums. It only does the radar altimeter. And briefing the approach here. So it's the ILS runway 12 into Miami, Florida, IGEM on 08.9, 124th course, Vetco at 2000 for the final, going at 376 barrel, 368 RA for the minimums. Touchdown zone elevation is 8 feet. MSA is highest to the south of the DHPVOR, 2,900 feet. In case we do a published miss, climb 800 feet, climb left turn 3,000, direct to the Florida Key VOR Virginia Key VOR and hold. And let's see, we're 15 for 16. Be careful here. In fact, I'm gonna go cruise mode now just to make sure I don't try not to overspeed the airplane this time. Let's see, radar DMEs required, visibility for helicopter reduction not authorized, VGSI glide path not coincident. Beware of Opalaka, can be mistaken for our airport. Make sure you got the correct airport in sight. Coming down, pack to the right hand side, miles our approach lights, 376 for the minimums. Once again, 4,000 RVR is required. We got it. After landing in Miami, after landing 1-2, we'll just take the first available left hand turn off. We could probably make Juliet, Juliet, or Yankee. We'll come back up to like Yankee 2 and then we'll hop over back to the international satellite over here. And yeah, I think that's about all we got for our briefing. There we go, we're level up to 16. I'm pulling the power back so we don't overspeed the airplane this time. Cruise about 300 knots. And I think we'll have a couple of minutes in cruise here. We'll cut seatbelt sign off for the passengers in the back. Let's see. Excuse me, got yawns once again. And latest weather out of Miami. Share. So, alright. As of 1853 Zulu. I guess that's local time. That seems like it's pretty old this early. No. Guess there's no update. Okay. Winds 100 at 11, 10 statute miles, scattered 3,700. Scattered at 25,000, 30, 22, and 29906 on the meter. We already got that in there. Perfect. Let's see. So Annie, we're landing to the east, so we're going to expect 13,000 and 280 knots. So that 13. We'll put the bug at 280. So we need to go from 16 to 13, so we need to begin that descent 10, is that right? Yeah, 10 miles prior to Annie intersection. So let's see, after this waypoint we got 33 miles, so yeah, about 20 miles after we pass the Annie, 23 miles after, we'll begin the descent. See how things are going back here in the cabin. Looks like everybody's pretty well behaved. Like they're not even there. It's like we forgot the passengers. I knew we forgot something. Have a cool shot at the wing and the engine. Alright, so we're just a couple miles away now from starting the descent, so we already got 13,000 set as well as a 280 speed bugged. When we get to the top of descent, I mean, it's going to probably reset the speed when I hit the speed button, but we'll set a 280 speed in the descent, and we'll just do a speed descent with the throttle back, and we'll have no problem making any at 13,280. And that's really the only speed and altitude restriction we got to deal with on this one. Pretty easy. Once we get to 12 miles, we'll go ahead and start that descent. There it is, 12 miles, we'll hit speed, dial it back to 280. That's why I did it a little bit early, because by the time it gets slowed down to 280, it'll be about 10 miles per hour, and we'll be on the descent. There it is, 10 miles, 280 knots, and we're in the descent. We're at 3-degree arrival, 349 knots, be about 1,800 feet per minute. As you can see, we're having no problem doing almost more than double that, so we'll bring a little throttle back in just to slow the descent. And we're going to have a left-hand turn here down to the Hiley intersection. We'll see the airplane make that left turn here shortly. And let's see, do we have any other traffic coming into Miami? I don't think I see anybody super close. There's one. Looks like American 515 is on his way in. We're a little closer than he is. He also might be a little bit quicker. Don't want to be too slow here. Miami traffic convoy 4039 is descending via the Annie arrival. We'll be planning landing runway 12, Miami. So once we get to Hiley, I'm just going to break off, and we'll kind of set up. It'll essentially be a long left base into runway 12. We might have to turn a few degrees out, do a little bit of a downwind, just to make sure we give ourselves enough room. I'm going to keep our altitude up here if I can. I'll keep us out of these clouds. Get a slight smooth ride. Speaking of which, seatbelt sign back on. We'll go ahead and light up the airplane now just before we forget. Haven't prepared the cabin. Alright, we'll go ahead and start down at 10,000 feet now. Looks like DJ just went live. Oh man, it's already almost 5 o'clock. They shot by. So as soon as I finish up this live stream, we'll be hopping on to Flight Sim with DJ. I'm going to send him just a quick chat. shoot him a quick message. There we go. Alright, there's 11 for 10,000 feet. There's Highly intersection. We're going to go ahead and make a turn out here to the west. And we'll set ourselves up for runway 12. So what I'm going to do here, oops, that's the wrong MFMS. We're going to grab this one. So pulling up the 11-4 for runway 12 ILS Piana. So what we'll do is we'll take Piana. We'll do an intercept with a, what was our final approach course? 124. Start slowing down here a little bit. So 124, and we'll execute that. What that does, as you can see here, it draws a course that we can come out here and intercept. That'll get us aligned with the runway, with our approach. Alright, we're already below 250 knots, so we're going to descend and maintain 2,000 at Piana. Descend at about 240 knots. Already through 10,000 feet, we got that stuff done already. We'd actually probably turn about 20 degrees left. We don't need to go too far out for this approach. Miami traffic envoy 4039, 25 miles to the north. We're going to be setting up a left base, joining the ILS runway 12 Miami. There's, would that be Fort Lauderdale? Or no, that's, yeah, that's Fort Lauderdale right there. It's funny, you know, along the Miami coast, you've got like 4 airports that all have a very similar runway layout, all right next to each other. Because you got Miami, you got Opelika, Fort Lauderdale, and I think there's another one. Maybe it's Palm Beach, I can't remember. Anyways, but they all have like east-west runways with a cross runway that lines with like northwest, southeast. So you have to be very careful. Make sure you got the right airport in sight when you're landing in Miami. Alright, we're descending through 5,000 feet now. Piano's actually 3,000 feet. We'll do 3,000 for now. Although our final approach fix, our glide slope intercept altitude's 2,000, so. Go ahead and turn the track IR back on. Alright, 4 for 3. In fact, I think I've already pretty much got the airport in sight out there. We'll cut the base leg a little bit short if we can. No need to go super far away, right? Especially for the only airplane out here. Let's go down to 2,000. Got 2,000 set. Put the airplane down there. Miami traffic envoy 4039. It's about a 15 mile left base join in ILS 12 full stop Miami. there's 2,000 feet. Might as well keep the speed up for now. We don't need to go slow. It's not yet. Let's go ahead and just bring it to green needles now. And that does give us our DME right there, 15 miles out. Alright, and just to review, landing weight, I don't know if I ever set it up for this flight. 42.6 is what it's saying. I think that's about right. And 140, yeah, that might be from the last one actually. Hang on. Try not to give myself too much trouble here. Landing weight's 42,100 now. I don't think it'll change much. Well, it looks like we're keeping 135, 140. So we'll do 140 and a flaps 22 approach. Yeah, turn that track IR back on. Don't see any other traffic around. We'll be joining up here shortly. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and start slowing it up. We'll bring the speed back to like 200 for now. Add another mile and then we're gonna make our turn for the intercept. Alright there. Alright, so we're gonna make a turn. And we're going to arm up the approach, so it'll join up for us. Shallow up the intercept a little bit there. Alright, look for that localizer. Localizer is alive, and there the airplane's capturing. Let's go flaps 9. And with the glide slope is alive. Alright, and dot below the glide slope, gear down. And there's the slope intercept, and our missed approach altitude was 3,000. 3,000 feet set. Alright, flaps 22. Speed is going to be approach, and we're going to run our landing checklist. I never did the descent checklist, I forgot about that one too. Altimeters, ICAS, windshield heat's on, approach complete, pressurization set, external lights, passenger signs are set. And for landing, landing gear down, 3 green, flaps are 22, we're slow, let's correct that. Lights are as required, autopilot, yaw damper will come off. Checklist is complete. Alright guys, we'll bring the autopilot off around, I don't know, a little below 1,000 feet. We'll alert the flight attendants. Alright. And again, after we land, we're just going to take that first available left-hand turn off, and we'll taxi to the gate. Miami traffic, Envoy 4039 on
1,000.
a 3-mile final, landing 12 Miami.
Autopilot.
Autopilot's coming off,
Autopilot.
that's me. And 1,000 feet, airplane's configured. I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and change my frequency for the ILS so it
Glide
doesn't yell at me.
Glide slow. Glide slow. Glide slow.
Like
Glide
that.
slow. Glide slow. Glide slow.
500.
That auto or that glide slope warning is so annoying. Like the most annoying warning ever. Alright, 500 feet, we're stable. I'm just using the PAPI now. Little low correcting. Here's the slope.
$100. 50. 10.
A little firmer than I anticipated. Alright guys, welcome to Miami. Landing strobes off. Miami traffic, Envoy 4039 is clear the runway. We're going to be taxiing via Quebec, Yankee, and Yankee 1 to the ramp, Miami. Alright guys, well thanks for following along with me on that fun little turn out of Freeport, Bahamas. Grand Bahama International Airport. If you like the content, be sure to follow me on Twitch. You can also find me on YouTube. I often upload videos from my live streams onto YouTube as well. Thank y'all so much for following along. I will be back here in probably less than 10 minutes. Hopping on Flight Simulator with DJ Aramis. We'll go Yankee 1. Clear left and clear right. Sorry about the obnoxious noise here. Alright guys, there it is. And who forgot to start the APU? I did. Get that APU going here. Alright, APU's got it now. Alright, thanks for following along. We'll see y'all next time. Take care. And he's got 2 thumbs and forgot to turn off his beacon light. This guy. We'll see you soon.